Hi, my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have a really quick, cute card for you today. And so before I get started, I want to tell you why I'm doing the card that I'm doing today. And there will be a couple of them in this series. They'll all be quick. They'll all have a couple of techniques on one of them. You'll want to stay tuned for it. If you're newer to stamping or you have some questions about coloring techniques, on one of the cards I'm going to show you, I'm going to take the same stamp set. It might not even be a card, but I'll show you different techniques of coloring on the same set. But if you're kind of new to Stampin' Up! Or you're new to watching videos, I wanted to let you know that every year, I started with Stampin' Up! In 1995. So I'm starting, my math is bad, but my daughter was a baby and she turned 26 this year. So starting my 26th year with Stampin' Up! So the way they do it, I'll get my 25-year pin this year in September. Because you complete your year and then you get it, kind of like your birthday when you've been around 1 year, then you turn one. So each year we have an annual catalog. So this is our annual catalog. It started in June. Our next one will start in May because they're kind of adjusting it. If you don't have this, let me know. If you're in the US, I'd be happy to send you one. And then twice a year, we have a mini catalog, which it's gotten way more mini than it used to be. It used to be like a brochure a million years ago. So this one is August to December, and it's we call it our holiday catalog because it's got the holidays, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's. So that is also available. And then in January, we'll have our January to June as well as our celebration. So there'll be two catalogs in. Everything in the celebration catalog is free. And then a couple of times a year, they do a sign-up special. And for the first time that I can remember in our 25 years, my 25 years with the company, there's going to be one in September of this year. So in September, if you sign up and you join my team, in your kit, you can pick $125 of whatever you want. So you pick whatever you want. You can get the new die cut machine. You can get all stamps. You can get all paper. You can mix it all up. But then in addition to that, so you pick $125 worth of stuff and then you pay $99. These are US prices. So if you're in a different country, you can find somebody in your country and ask them. So it's $99. There's tax, but there is no shipping. So you save $12.50 on that because there's would be 10% shipping if you were buying this stuff. And then in September only, you get a little card making kit that includes these two stamp sets, So Much Love and Queen Anne's Lace. And then you get a pack of rhinestones and you get some card making kits. So on my website, you can hop over to those and I will have a little picture of the card making kits. And then if you join my team, always as a benefit of being one of my direct demonstrators, you always get access to most of my online classes. Sometimes you get the supplies for those. Most of the time you just get the videos. It kind of depends on what they are. But for everybody who signs up during this, you will get I'm going to do some classes for you to let you know ways that you can use these two sets in upcoming events that you'll be having. So I will be doing some classes for these for everybody who signs up with me. And those will be just private little videos. We might do some Zoom calls if you want to. Some people are afraid of Zoom, so you don't have to. But I'm going to give you a couple of ideas over the next few days to just show you what these two stamp sets can do. So for this one, I'm going to use Queen Anne's Lace. It's got some really good fonts, and it's a real simple stamping. So it's really great if you would like to do this as a business. I will tell you, in my 25 years when I first started, I did it full-time as a business. My daughter, as I said, was a baby. She's now a grown-up, and she's also a demonstrator herself. So I did it full-time, and then when she was in junior high, I went and got a job because she was also a golfer, and then she golfed in college. So my idea was when she was starting high school and junior high, that I would get a job, kind of pay for college. And because she was an athlete, my evenings were taken, and so this wasn't the best job to have full-time because I wanted to be able to see her compete. And she was competing all the time in the evenings, and so I did this part-time. So I have done it full-time. I've done it full-time with babies. I've done it full-time now with nobody in the house but me and my husband, but he's at work. And I have done it kind of part-time. When I first started working, and I was working mostly full-time, I worked 35 hours a week when I first started working. And I did this full-time, and then I realized I couldn't do 35 hours a week, do this almost full-time, and also watch her compete. And then she played college golf. So I just did this kind of as a hobbyist, but I did have customers. So I really just did it enough to keep them satisfied. So what I have here is a white craft pad, and I'm stamping the background image on some craft cardstock. And I've just cut it 5.5 by a couple inches. It was just wide enough to get these on here. So the white craft, and this is the back of a Queen Anne's lace. So I've just stamped that on there. And this is an old style white pad. I don't have the new ones. You can get, if you order a white one now, it will come like the new ones. It takes a second for it to dry. So I'm just gonna wave it here. So if you join my team and you have a question because you just want to do it for a hobby, I've kind of done it for a hobby because when she was in college and we were traveling all the time to see her play golf and I was working full time, I just did enough to keep me active. Or if you have a little baby at home and you're like, I can't do this with a baby in my life. I had her and I had my nieces that were 1 and 2 years younger than her for years. And I was a substitute teacher at the same time. So I did it that way. And now I do it, I kind of have a hybrid business now. I do it online and I do it, I still have events in my home. So now I have soft suede. Yep, soft suede. And now you take this second piece and you just stamp right over the top. So now you're gonna have that little filler of the Queen Anne's lace underneath. It gives it kind of the color. You wanna make sure, because it's kind of a big stamp, that you just press everywhere. So you would get a lot better if you could bend your head over the top of it, but because I'm filming, you don't want to see the top of my head. And I just had a shower because we have an online leaders event. Stampin' Up! Has events for us, and we were supposed to be at the event, but you know, COVID. So we're not at the event. It's going to be online, and it starts in a little bit, and we can see each other. So I had to shower. And then there's a bunch of sentiments in this. So I just have a black stamp pad. And this says, oh, nope, this isn't the one I want. It's this one. This says, I'll be celebrating all the wonderful things about you. The other one's the one I used on the other card. I'm going to show you 2 of the sentiments. So this one goes right here. Just like that. But you'll see that even if you don't get them stamped perfectly, because if you do this for your friends or you just start to get to know people who want to learn how to stamp, it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's going to look kind of like, a lot of times, even if you look at cards that you pay $6 for at Target, and you look at the way they're printed, it's kind of the way they are. My other one is stamped a little bit more perfect because my head was right over the top of it, but it doesn't have to be. And then I have one blend. This is the dark granny apple green, and it's a fun way to introduce people to adding some color to their stamp, but it doesn't take any talent. So I am just going to lightly trace over the stems just to give a little bit of color to my project, but it doesn't require any talent and any coloring. And that will dry a little bit lighter. And then I have some of our twine, because I'm trying to keep this a simple card. And I like the natural look. You know, Queen Anne's lace is not a fancy flower. So I've kind of doubled it over so there's enough that you see it. And as this white craft ink dries, it's going to look less like I stamped it poorly. And just tie a knot so you don't have to know how to tie any fancy bows. So when you join my team, we have a Facebook group. If you are local in Indianapolis, we do get together a few times a year. And if you're not here, then we meet via Zoom, or when we do get together, then if you want to zoom in, I set the camera up and you can watch us. We set it on one of the tables so everybody who's stamping there can talk to you. But during COVID, we found that we all like to meet via Zoom. So like my holiday try it classes or my annual catalog try it classes are the one that comes up in January. If you're able to Zoom when we all Zoom, then you get that class for free, and I mail it to everybody, and then whoever can do it gets it and we all meet together. So I'm just gonna mount this on here, and you're gonna see my other one's a little bit different of a size because I had just scraps of this paper. So you just take your seal now, just glue this down. Oops. Well, I did this when I first started. I was the 7th demonstrator in Indiana, so I went out all the nights, not every night, but a lot of nights, into ladies' homes. And crafts are making a resurgence again. But there's nothing more rewarding than showing people who say when they come in, oh, I'm just here to support hostess's name because I'm not crafty. And then you give them something like this, especially when they've stamped poorly and they're like, oh, I can't do it. And then when it's done, they're like, oh, that doesn't look so bad. And then they're all happy and they're showing everybody their artwork at the end. And they're like, oh, I can do this. And it can make people feel so good about themselves because they just assume they can't. And then when they get there and they find out that they can, it's just it's a great feeling. So now I have these butterfly gems and they come in the in colors. The 2019-2021 in colors. So the ones that will end next year. And on my card that I'm going to show you that I made a second ago, I put a different saying. It's cut a little bit wider, and I have the purple posy. So let's do a different color. Let's do this one. So this is a little bit brighter than the purple posy. So you could take one of these to a class and let everybody pick their favorite color, and it's a great way to introduce them to Stampin' Up's colors and the fact that we have colors that come and go as a just a kind of a way to keep with the trends. So here's the other one with a purple one. This one says, I know you have the strength to get through this. So this is a great little set that you could take to a class or have if you have people over to stamp with you, because there's a hello, there's the best wishes, there's a thanks, there's the one that I did that's a kind of a birthday one, and then kind of a sympathy or just an encouragement stamp. And that one is the one that I had the other one because it has an inside for that, and it says, I'll be right by your side. So it's a fun little stamp. And then if you did it for the same group of people the next time, you could not two-step it and maybe paint with some Stella or something. So if you have any questions about joining Stampin' Up or being part of my team, then just message me. I'd be happy to give you anything. And then stay tuned because I'm going to have some samples coming up with this. So this was photopolymer, and we're going to get ready to do some stuff with the cling. And this is the one where I'll show you some blends. I'll show you coloring with markers, watercolor pencils, coloring with ink pads. So we'll do some different coloring techniques all with the same stamp because this is a great one to use for coloring. Everybody have a great day. Bye.